Welcome to the IT Free training video on Integration Services. Integration Services is software provided with Hyper-V designed to provide the user with the best possible experience when using Hyper-V. To put it simply, Integration Services is a suite of drivers and utilities for use with Hyper-V virtual machines. Hyper-V Integration Services enhances the performance of the virtual machine's guest operating system and optimizes the drivers of the virtual environments to provide a better experience. The suite augments virtual machine management by replacing generic operating system driver files. Some examples include those for the mouse and video. Further, it synchronizes time between the guest and host operating systems and can allow file interoperability and a heartbeat function to monitor the virtual machine. Let's consider a virtual machine. There will be an operating system installed on the virtual machine, in this case Windows 8.1. In order to access hardware resources, the operating system uses device drivers. Without integration services installed, the hardware is emulated. This means in order to access the virtual hardware, it must first go through emulated hardware. In contrast, if integration services is installed, the operating system accesses the virtual hardware directly. This gives a performance boost, but this is not the only advantage of using integration services. The most noticeable feature is that it allows unrestricted mouse movements. As shown here, the mouse pointer is not able to move outside the virtual machine window. In order to release it, the Control Alt and left arrow must be pressed. Integration Services allows seamless movement between the virtual machine and the desktop without having to use a keyboard shortcut to release the mouse. If you are using a newer operating system, you may notice that you have unrestricted mouse movement even though you've not installed Integration Services. This is because the newer operating systems have Integration Services pre-installed. However, it is recommended that you check the version that is being used to make sure that it is the newest version. There is also a component that improves video performance and adds additional video features. Without the additional software installed, we are limited to the basic video features, and video updates on the virtual machine can be sluggish. The next feature that it adds is a heartbeat service. Using the heartbeat service, the host can monitor the virtual machine. If the virtual machine was to crash or become unresponsive, the host will not receive a heartbeat from the virtual machine and will know something has happened to it. In this case, the host could be programmed to power cycle the virtual machine or alert an administrator, depending on how the administrator wanted this handled. Integration Services adds data exchangeability between the host and virtual machine. Using data exchange, the client can pass information to the host, like host name, OS version, and build number. This information helps Hyper-V manage the virtual machine, for example, configuring performance options based on the virtual machine that is running. We will also find support for time synchronization between the host and the virtual machine. With this feature, the host will ensure all the virtual machines are set to the time configured on the host. You can also achieve the same result using time synchronization software on the virtual machine. It is up to the administrator to decide if they want to use this feature. Another feature is improved snapshot performance. A snapshot allows the virtual machine state to be saved and then recalled later on. The virtual machine will be returned to the same state when restored, including what was in memory. Snapshots are still available without this feature. However, when performing a snapshot, there may be a noticeable delay on the virtual machine when the snapshot is performed. That is, the virtual machine may stall for a period of time. The last feature is remote desktop virtualization. This allows management to be performed with the virtual machine using remote desktop. With all the additional remote management features in Windows Server 2012, this allows better management in Windows Server 2012, assuming that the operating system supports the installation of integration services. Shown here are all the operating systems that Integration Services supports. Essentially, everything from Windows XP and Windows Server 2003 and above is supported. With the older operating systems, you will need to install a service pack before you can install integration services. With Linux, only certain distributions are supported. If your operating system is not listed, you can still install that operating system. However, the performance of the virtual machine may be reduced since emulated hardware will need to be used. Thanks for watching this video on integration services for Hyper-V. In upcoming videos, we will look at how to install integration services in Windows and Linux. Until those videos, thanks for watching and see you next time.